Hello and welcome to Fossil Arcade. Today, me and Alex are going to do another video, but not necessarily a review, or not really a review of any one thing. Previously on Fossil Arcade, I did a video review of the Dreamcast arcade fight stick, which we have here. And it's a really good accessory, great if you want to play arcade games, and especially if you want to play fighting games. But what I didn't say in that review was that you don't necessarily need it. I feel like it can improve your performance when you're playing a fighting game, but it's not that you can't or shouldn't use a traditional gamepad. I don't really like the Dreamcast controller for fighting games personally, but I wouldn't want anybody to watch that review and feel like they shouldn't use this if they want to. Some people are much more comfortable using a gamepad like that. But to just kind of go into that topic a bit more deeply, I thought today you and I could play some fighting games, trade off between a fight stick and a gamepad, and just see which ones we prefer. This is a Soul Calibur, a Hori made, third party but officially licensed Soul Calibur fight stick for the Gamecube, and we're going to compare that with how the Gamecube controller works on a couple of games, not just Soul Calibur. So,
excited to try the fight stick.
Yeah.
I reckon that a lot of it comes down to your generation and kind of how old you are. Because I grew up playing in arcades and playing the original Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2, these kind of games. So I feel quite at home with a fight stick in comparison to a control pad, which I have used plenty.
Yeah, it goes on a game by game basis for me. Depending on what game I'm playing, I might want to use a fight stick or a control pad, but we'll get more into that as we go. Alex is going to be using the fight stick first, and I'm going to be using the controller, the regular controller.
I feel with controllers it's more of a make-do situation.
Sometimes,
if you've got a PlayStation or something and you don't have access to a stick, you're just going to make do with a controller.
Are you happy with your controls? Do you want to review any movesets or anything before we start? You're just going to go in?
I'm just going completely blind.
It's going to go ham.
Nightmare.
Yeah, Soul Calibur is a good one to play on a regular controller, I think, and because it's made by the same people who produce Tekken, they often think about the console gamer when they're developing a game. I mean, it uses the main 4 face buttons in quite an easy to understand way. It's not that hard to pick up and play, and you know, I think although it is great with a stick, you're not really at a disadvantage when you use a controller with this kind of game. Speaking about Soul Calibur specifically.
Can't forget how slow that is.
How are you feeling about the controls so far?
Yeah, nice and responsive,
Oop.
which I really like.
Oh, well, yeah, you're obviously doing okay. Been here before. I find when I'm using the stick, I tend to focus on movement more, because the stick is obviously like so apparent in your hand. You're feeling every motion you do very carefully. Whereas when I'm on a controller, I focus more just on the buttons and like getting the moves out. So it does kind of change my style of play a little bit. So you want?
So yeah, stick wins.
Stick wins for you. We'll swap around then and you can try this.
Sure.
There you go.
I think the last time I played Soul Calibur was round here. And probably the time before that and the time before that.
Right.
But I always forget how good it is.
Well, that's a game.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the new one later this year. So as I've bought this Gamecube fight stick, I've been trying to go over to it and use it more and kind of move away from the control pad. Because I do want to learn, how to use it properly. But as I said before, I do also find that it goes game by game for which one I prefer to use when it comes to controllers. And especially on the Dreamcast, I find that as I don't really care for the Dreamcast pad so much, the fight stick is just nicer. But then other games like Street Fighter 5 on PS4, I bought a fight stick to play with it, and then I just found that I preferred the DualShock. I just went back to the controller quite quickly, and I found that I was much better at the game when I used the regular controller. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
Get it away with a spin.
I was just mashing because I was desperate.
The energies. So yeah, just picking this up, and I'm not over the Gamecube controller, but it just feels like I'm at home, you know, with my PlayStation or something.
yeah.
You know, you've got that familiarity. But clearly, I did better with the stick.
I don't know, I was just mashing like crazy there to get you, so... Because like, people are not mashing, you shouldn't really mash, it's not the way to play, but it is a way of intimidating somebody when somebody's just like smacking all the buttons and you don't really know what they're up to. I'm just not as good at Soul Calibur as you, that's part of the problem. I feel like for Soul Calibur, I prefer the stick.
Yeah.
Partially because I played Soul Calibur 1 a lot on Dreamcast with a stick, so it's easier to go to 2 and carry on. But I don't feel like there's too much of a disparity. I don't pick up one control and feel like I'm at a disadvantage either way.
No.
So, you know.
Well, I won with both.
Yeah, you won with both, so clearly it's fine. So the next game we're going to play is Capcom vs SNK 2. For the Gamecube, and now this is its actual full title is Capcom vs SNK 2 EO, and the EO stands for Easy Operation, because in relation to controllers and what people are being able to use at home, they put in a special mode in this game where you could play it like easier. So the way this works is that you use the C stick to do special moves, and this is supposed to be a way to remove the complexity of fighting game inputs from casual players and just mean that you can just learn where to put the stick at a certain time and do a certain move.
Okay.
If you're familiar with fighting games, as you and I have like some familiarity with them, learning this after having learned the real way is an absolute nightmare, and I really don't like it. So I'm just going to give you a quick go on Easy Operation, and you can tell me
I can hardly
what
wait.
you think of it. I think you might be able to find M. Bison in there or somebody that you're familiar with. All the characters in this game are from Capcom and SNK fighters, so there's loads and loads and loads.
Japanese, who's called Vega.
I'm using the Japanese copy of this game because it came with a special memory card which you didn't get in the West. But when you bought this in Japan, they bundled it with this card and it had special Capcom data saved in it already, which included some unique colour options for all the characters, so it's like a special version.
So all my moves are on the C stick?
It should be on the C stick, so try moving the C stick and he'll like just do his specials kind of immediately.
Can I not do anything else?
Well,
Can I do standard attacks?
in the manual it tells you there's like a section for each character where it shows you the C stick, and then in sort of like a pie chart way it displays like this part of the C stick is for this move and this move, and you know, move it that way. But I just find it so much more complicated than just saying press A to punch or B to kick or whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
Yeah, no, it's really unpleasant. Yeah, it's on the back of the box. It shows a little picture of the C stick, because though, you know, this is like a really great selling point if you're a layman or new to fighting games. But then, if you learned this at home, even if you really enjoyed it, and then you went to the arcade, you'd be sunk, because this isn't how you play fighting games. In fairness to the game, if we put the time in and we learned the character and we knew where to move the C stick, we might enjoy this mode a bit more. But on the face value of it, it feels to me like rather than being an easy access to fighting games, it's actually just another barrier, because whilst you might spend a lot of time learning this and enjoy it, you're ultimately going to have to end up learning the other way once you go to another game, because it's only CVS2 which has this. So you'd be like, oh, I love playing fighting games on you know, Easy Operation.
With my C stick.
Then you go and play, you know, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and it doesn't have a C stick, and you're kind of up the creek, as it were. So I like the idea, and I'm really, generally speaking, I'm really for any way to make games more accessible. Like if you're you know, disabled in some way, or if you just need an easier way to play because of your motor skills not being so good, I think all games should try and give you.
I lost on the first round on arcade.
Oh, you lost?
Yeah.
I thought you won.
No.
Sorry. As I was saying, I think all games should give you like a way to play that's a little bit easier, whether you're a young child or if you're just not good with your hands, or you know, people should be able to enjoy games. But to sell this as, you know, some sort of learning mechanic for fighting games, perhaps that's not how it's intended. That's how it comes across to me, and I just don't see how that's useful. So, in relation to this, the Gamecube also has some very chunky shoulder buttons. The analog ones, famously analog. And this is great for some games, but for fighting games, especially Capcom style ones, when you're using all 6 buttons, doing the heavy moves on these gets tiresome, and the layout of this is not really friendly to a Street Fighter-esque game.
Yep.
So as such, we're going to use a slightly different Gamecube controller. When we did our video on Mario Party E, the Mario Party E video game, remember that fun time?
Oh.
We used this controller just for a bit of a laugh. But what it actually is an officially licensed Hori controller, just like the fight stick we have here, which was released alongside the Game Boy Player, and it was supposed to just provide a parity with Game Boy Advance games, but give you a more beefy D-pad, so you could use this to play GBA games on TV and feel like you had a proper controller. But as a side effect, we've got some nice, digital shoulder buttons. The face buttons are the same, but overall, the D-pad should make this a little easier.
Yeah.
So just like before, Alex is going to start with the fight stick, and I'm going to use the controller.
Yeah.
Stage select. Let's go to London, because that's where we are. Groove select.
Start looking out of your window.
I'm obviously going to pick Cammy. I'm sorry. Who are you looking for? Bison?
No, not particularly. I'm just looking round.
Just looking around.
Yeah.
There are so many characters, and
No,
in
it's hard.
some ways the isms are a little overwhelming. Is that who you wanted?
Yeah. No.
Cool.
Have a go, Athena.
It's a little overwhelming at first, but conversely with that, I actually think that this is a really good game to start with. If you're not familiar with fighting games and you want to get into them, yes, there's a lot of stuff here, but it has almost everything. There are so many characters which cross-pollinate other series and so many different styles of play that if you want to invest the time, you can learn everything there is to know about 2D fighters from this particular era and carry that into every other game you want to play. So if you're just starting out, Capcom vs SNK 2 is actually a really good one. So, just try some of these. There we go, yeah.
I have no idea what my moves. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm still getting familiar with the buttons a little bit, but just you wait, it's all going to kick off in a second.
What do you mean a second? It already is. That was my Z move.
Is it? Oh, I'm going to press Z as well.
Look.
Oh, it's taunt!
Yeah.
It's just a taunt.
Thanks for that.
Sorry. Well...
Okay, that's good.
So I think the C-ism here is for, it's similar to the A-ism in Street Fighter Alpha 3, if anybody's familiar with that. That's kind of where this one comes from, I think. See, for this game, for 2D fighters, I tend to like the controller.
He is being Cammy, which is his absolute favourite.
Cammy's my mate. Do you want me to do another one?
No,
Cammy. Everybody knows I love Cammy. I don't like this lime green Cammy though. I picked that colour by mistake. Oh yeah. So in this one you can block in the air because we both put the C-ism, so if I hit you in the air you can still press back and it will... Whoa, I like kind of a Kuma teleport thing.
Yeah.
You know how you're doing it though?
Yeah.
Whoop. I think you might have this one in a minute because I'm not getting through your shenanigans. Oh!
Plus.
Not bad, not bad.
But yeah, stick on this doesn't feel great.
For you, personally?
Yeah. Trying to pull off specials. It wasn't. It was okay. It wasn't bad.
That's interesting because we recently played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in the Heart of Gaming Arcade, didn't we? And you played with obviously these controls, and you didn't find it too bad? Or?
No, this is fine. I just think it'll be interesting trying the controller in comparison, see how I do.
Right, I won't pick Cammy this time.
Okay. I'm going to be really to sort of give me a chance.
Okay. I'm going to be Chun-Li. Well, maybe I'll be an SNK character actually, just to mix it up, because you see a lot of Chun-Li around, don't you? Is King? King. I like any lady who kicks. That must be my thing. Must be like a kicking fetish going on.
There floats your boat.
Okay, so here we go. Whoa! Oh, he's straight on with those Hadoukens. See, I do like the fight stick with this kind of game. It is the traditional way, it's the classic way, it's the authentic way, and in many ways people consider it like the only way, it's the professional way. But I I've just played with controllers for so long when it comes to these 2D games. You were saying how you played Mortal Kombat in the arcades. I grew up playing Mortal Kombat on the Mega Drive, so I'm just like really familiar with that setup. It's kind of just takes over it's like sensory overload. I'm just thinking about the stick all the time. How are you finding it with that?
I think I'm starting to think I actually prefer the stick.
Stick? Oh, maybe we'll do another one after this and you can try stick again.
Well, the inputs are very simple this way.
Oh, I did. A bit too far away, but oh.
Just right, I jumped into it.
Yeah, thanks. We played Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection recently. Do you feel like any of your knowledge from those games comes across to a game like this?
Yeah, definitely. It's exactly the same.
I'd say it's always going to be a little bit unfair when you go around to somebody's house and they own a game and the other person doesn't. But having had you kick my ass in Soul Calibur several times recently, I'm totally fine like winning this. Not a big finish.
Now, the reason I would say I'd pull a negative on this slightly is I find actually sometimes you can hit one of the directions and it almost doesn't register. That's not like an issue with the controller, but it might be in terms of pressing it down far enough. So with the stick, at least the stick never misinterprets your...
I mean, when you're talking about directions and stuff, I think if a controller has aged, you're always going to be a bit uneasy, but then is it workman blaming his tools, Alex? I don't know.
Very possibly. But yeah, I didn't feel it was the controller's fault. You know, it's not to do with age, but I just found trying to do like a Hadouken or something that sometimes I just wouldn't catch it quite right, or your thumb might sort of slip off it.
Definitely hard.
Whereas, yeah, when you're holding a stick, you've got quite a good contact with it, and it doesn't change.
Yeah, that's what I talked about in the Dreamcast stick review, is that you feel that corner, you feel the clicks, you hear the clicks. When you're going between like different games, I think that's where you make a choice, because you might prefer a stick with Soul Calibur, prefer a pad with Street Fighter, but as far as you're concerned, what's your opinion at the moment when it comes to these controllers?
I think at the moment, I prefer the stick. It's not that I own one or that I'm going to go out and buy one, but if I was say like round here, then yeah, and you said have a choice of controller, I think I'd choose the stick.
It's just because it's a novelty, or
it's a novelty. It's quite retro for me. It takes me back to my youth.
right?
But I actually like Soul Calibur being a slower game than Capcom vs SNK. I found it really suited that. I still think I did prefer the stick with.
Oh, it's Capcom vs SNK.
Yeah.
Or 2D fighters.
Yeah, well, just 2D. Yeah, I think I did prefer the stick, but the controller was definitely. Either controller, I think, would still hold their own there better than they did in Soul Calibur.
This is always going to be novel though, because they are rarer. You're not going to see it as often unless you're always at an arcade or if you own your own. But ultimately, I think if you're serious about a fighting game, choose a controller and stick with it. Don't feel like there's any pressure from a specific gaming community or people telling you that you shouldn't use a game controller. You need to use a stick. That's really just nonsense. It really just comes down to what do you want to use, what are you comfortable with, and if you've grown up with this or you've grown up with that and you're having a good time, that's the most important thing. So, thanks for watching.